Welcome to part 4 of the Carver Captain boat series. In this episode, I fabricate some metal dollies and get some help to lift the boat off the trailer and onto the dollies. Stick around to see how it happens. Got this tubing cut up. This is some 2x2, picking up a stick of 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. Once I pick up the 1 3/4 tomorrow, I'll be able to put together these caster boat carts that I've got designed here. They're going to be a little bit adjustable, so that way if I don't get the width perfectly right to keep the boat stable, I'll be able to kind of adjust the width by telescoping the 1 3/4 inside the 2-inch. I had this aspiration of making these, be able to telescope in and out. So, the smaller tubing would slide inside of here. So that way, if I don't get this nailed on the first try, I'll be able to just slide them together or further apart to adjust for the shape of the hull. Unfortunately, this is not working out, and there's a very specific reason. So the tubing I'm getting, as most tubing is actually welded. So there's a weld seam down here, and it's ground flat on the outside, but on the inside there's this little bit of a lip there. And once I got the tubing, I quickly remembered seeing somebody else encounter this. I think it was maybe Colin Furs or somebody on the internet who had this exact same issue. I thought I could overcome it by basically just grinding a bunch of metal off of the exterior surfaces to make it a little bit smaller. I even went so far as to actually using a grinding blade to cut a little bit of a slot in here to try to accept that little bit of a weld. I've gotten gotten a couple of these to slide in and out pretty good, so I thought I was making progress there, but there's no way. Once I start heating this up and welding, and or if it was even all it takes is like a little bit of a burr on it and it won't want to slide anymore. So these are technically slipped in there. I'm probably just going to leave it like that because it's not like it's going to come out, especially once there's some weight on it. So this is number one. Going to do one more that'll probably be a little bit well, I think I'm going to keep the overall width the same just so there's some stability. So I plan on putting 4 casters on here. That'll be, these are about 4 feet wide, so almost that 4 foot width. But the risers for the bunks to mount to are going to be a little bit inboard of that. So I think for the rear one, I'm going to do about 32 or 36 inches on center for the bunk risers. And then the front one, I'll do a bit narrower, probably 24, 26 inches on center for those risers. Here we have the second dolly assembly. This one I spent a little bit more time on last night on the inside sliding tubes. So this one is actually able to be adjusted in the width. This will be valuable for when I'm positioning this under the front of the boat. The larger one for the rear of the boat, the supports, the inner supports there are pretty fixed distance, so I have a pretty good idea of what I want to do there and where I'm going to position it. However, the dolly that I'm going to use at the bow of the boat, I wanted to build some adjustability into, so that way, depending on exactly where I place it fore to aft, I can adjust the width of the bunks. My plan is to actually put some standoffs on the upper side, kind of in these positions, and then I will do the same thing as I did with these sliding rails. So this will be an upper assembly that the bunk's attached to. They'll be able to drop in here. That'll allow me to use these carts in different functional uses in the future. I do have an idea of how I can use them once I've flipped the boat over to work on the bottom of the hull. So yeah, next step will be to get these welded on, 4 on each, in all 4 corners. And then after that, we'll get the other 7 wheels installed on these. I did test fit one here just to make sure that they were going to work well, and I was happy with the fitment. Here's where I'm going to wrap it up tonight. Got both of the dollies all welded up, all the casters on there, and then cleaned up with a coat of lacquer on there to prevent them from rusting. Overall, pretty happy. They roll around, they feel super nice and smooth. And at least the small one does still telescope in and out even after welding, so that is good. So we can play around with the adjustment there. Next up is going to be to take some height measurements of the boat, so that way I can make the vertical standoffs at the appropriate length before mounting the bunks to them. So hopefully I can get those measurements tomorrow morning and get these standoffs and everything finished up tomorrow night. And then hopefully get the boat off the trailer on Friday or Saturday. Here we are starting the process of lifting the boat off the trailer by jacking up the back end on the keel and then feeding a strap between the hull and the bunks to use the gantry to lift the back end up first. You can see in the lower left hand corner one of the finished dollies with the carpet on the bunks. Those ended up being the perfect height to raise the back end just high enough to be able to pull the trailer out.